Hey folks, this is Kevin. We're going over winter camping and backpacking tips part 2. The first thing we're going to go over is staking. Staking can be a challenge. Um, there can be a lot of ways to skin that cat, for lack of a better term. For me, if the snow is super fluffy and isn't super deep, um, to where you can't really get any consistency or any hold, you're probably going to have to dig down to dirt or ice or whatever. If you dig down to dirt or ice, um, probably the standard tent stakes are probably not going to suffice. It's probably not going to be easy enough. You can use a good sized nail to pound in. Those will probably work. You can also use things like concrete screws or ice screws. I've even taken a tiny ratchet before out, and you can actually give it a little pound and screw something in, get some purchase if you want. The You also can get big stakes. Word of warning on the big stakes, some of the big stakes are anodized and real slick service. Not that they don't work, but you're probably going to do better off if you have some purchase, some friction against the snow as well. A lot of people like to use snowshoes or skis or big sticks. I'm entirely in the big stick camp because I'm usually carrying a small little knife. So all I really need to do is figure out how deep the snow is and cut a few sticks. Also, it's important, a lot of people will tamp down their tent spot to help consolidate the snow a little bit. That does work. A lot of times you got to give it about 30-45 minutes to set up. But if you have real sugary kind of cotton candy kind of snow, you're going to have a hard time. Number 2, pole support. If you don't dig down to snow or down to the ground and you're on snow, you probably are going to want some sort of support for your pole. A bed of stakes cut is going to be the lightest and easiest that you can fashion there, but you can take a piece of aluminum, something like that, just to give it a bigger surface area so it doesn't sink down as much. One of the big advantages with winter camping, especially with floorless shelters, is that you can dig pits and platforms. You can almost make furniture inside. It's real common for people to do that. Typically, they'll stamp down, they'll stake out their tent, and then they'll dig out areas for beds or areas for furniture. It makes it feel a lot roomier inside. It's actually kind of cool and fun too. You're kind of like a kid playing in sand, really. Another thing to be aware of in the winter, if you're going to be out for a few days, is you really want to move moisture. There's a lot of ways to move moisture. You don't necessarily have to go get a hardcore winter bag. An overbag can certainly work, but just think about moving moisture out and away and not letting it get trapped in your insulation. One of the big advantages with winter camping is a lot of food that you normally wouldn't take on a summertime backpacking trip can be on the table. Especially depending on how you're traveling, if you're using a sled or poke or something like that, it's not a big deal to take in steaks and cook steaks, or take in fajita meat, or take in eggs. You can crack eggs, put them in an Nalgene, fill up the Nalgene with eggs, and then have plenty of stuff to just make scrambled eggs in the morning. So your food choices can be a lot better. Likewise, it's also kind of a little warning, is that if you're going out with a bunch of buddies, everyone may sneak in their own little bottle or something, because weight doesn't matter quite so much. So personally, I think it's a good idea to declare alcohol before you leave the trailhead, just so you know what you have if people are bringing it, because sometimes everyone wants to be real nice and kind of have a nice little party going on, and they decide, like, oh, I'm going to bring a secret bottle, this secret bottle, and you get back there and you find out, like, whoa, we have way too much alcohol.